That is my bear! My bear with a poon!
What's up, baby?
Bryan Holman, bear as his friends know him. Butt kickingly big, tobacco chewing, gun shooting, redneck hillbilly son of a gun.
The redneck can opener.
Make my mama proud.
That's my buddy bear. Bear and I go back a ways. We met some time ago through the Redfish Cup at first, and subsequent years we kind of got together and talked about going to Louisiana where, you know, Bear is really proficient at fishing. We did a couple shows down there in the marsh, fishing giant redfish in the middle of the wintertime.
Now, I remember when Jose came to Louisiana, you know, it was cold as it gets. It was like 42, 43 degrees, windy. I mean, it was blowing 25 miles an hour. Jose shows up to do a show and you're gonna get bad weather syndrome. We went out and still caught some big redfish and, you know, some big black drum and you know, got to run around the bayou, you know, just kind of basically where we were staying, you know, down there in the trailers, shot some guns, you know, which was fun and just kind of did what we do, basically, you know.
Originally, we had spent some time fishing with Stephen Palomini, who was a fishing guide in the Florida Keys, born and raised here. And I just thought it'd be kind of a cool point counterpoint sort of thing to get a guide from outside the area and fish the same bodies of water and kind of see the fishery through the eyes of what we call an import guide, somebody from the outside that has come into the area and learned it. And that guy is Bryan Holman, AKA Bear Holman. Another stormy day in the Keys.
Yeah, right? Welcome to September.
September's like that, bro.
Yeah. I think, you know, sometimes it's just beautiful the whole time though, you know?
I mean, the last month and a half was flat, calm, and sunny, you know? Yeah. Days like today, it's that same old thing where you try to bring the fish to you, you know?
Exactly.
Where you kind of park and hang out for a little bit and just catch what you can, I think.
Do what the day will give you, you know?
Yeah. Everything is so tightly dependent if you're fishing the flats and the Keys, and sometimes those windows of fishing are so narrow that if you show up early on a flat, a lot of times you'll miss that opportunity. What we try to do is just find a spot where there's something else going on. We can devote a couple hours while we're waiting basically for the tide to get right in the place that we want to go for our target species. And really that's what Bear and I did when we went to this one little basin. We knew there were some ladyfish in there, and we thought, you know, let's catch the ladyfish and see if we could take that ladyfish, which was already fun to catch in and of itself, and turn it into something larger and even more fun to catch.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord, buddy. You're having fun, Bear.
I'm having a blast.
I know, right?
We went and pulled in and started catching ladyfish, and to be honest with you, it was some of the most fun I had all day because it's just constant action. You know, you throw a bait out there and boom, you hook a ladyfish, and they're jumping and flipping everywhere. I had one jump into the boat, across the deck, you know, going just, you know, everywhere and just giggling. It's funny how, like, catching bait can be the most entertaining part of the day.
Tell me that isn't fun.
We got our bait, and then we're like, okay, well, now what are we gonna do? Well, let's go ahead and cut some stuff up and we'll just kind of sit here and hang out. We're thinking about drifting, and we just had enough blood in the water, and we're in an area where there's a bunch of ladyfish, so obviously there's gonna be a little bit of predator species around, and there happened to be some blacktips around, and they were kind of, I think those baits were, you know, they had the blood and everything permeating, and they knew it was there, and they were looking for it, you know? Next thing you know, we had a shark on.
Got a fish on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, guess what? I'm sure glad you're doing that.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
He's just the right size, bro. Yeah. Like another foot longer.
There would have been a handful.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, that's a nice little buddy down there. Yeah, he's right here. You can see him pretty good. He does not dig that at all. There we go.
Don't lose him, buddy. Remember that hook.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's definitely face down. I see why we're having problems with him. Oh man, he's gorgeous, dude. It's perfect size, nice little guy. He's a little unhappy buddy.
Easy little guy. Just relax. And they'll just chill out. Not quite.
You want that little hooker?
Yeah, I might need it, but here, let me see.
Hooker deals. There we go. Perfect.
You know, beautiful. See ya.
See you, buddy. Still mad and fast, isn't he?
Yeah, and got me wet.
That was awesome.
That's cool. It's pretty, isn't it? Low tide.
Oh, yeah.
As important as finding a good fishing spot, I think, is finding the right period of the tide to fish it in. And a lot of times, if you wait literally, you know, a half hour, an hour, and that first push of the tide starts coming in, the species of fish that you're pursuing, be them permit or bonefish, get up in the shallowest portion of those flats and actually get up and wave their tails around in a scenario that we call tailing. I really love that particular style of fishing because it's the most exciting form of fishing to me, when you're actually hunting for those tailing fish and trying to get yourself in a position close enough to catch them. We're lucky we're in a pocket of light now, but you still see the storms that have been building.
Yeah.
I think I might have just seen a bonefish tail there, bro. You know, we're in a big boat. We've got a big guide. We're moving a lot of water. And so when you're in those really skinny areas back there in the Keys in shallow water, especially with tailing fish, there's times when you want to stay in the boat and pull after your fish, and there's times when that water is so low that it's actually a lot stealthier and I think a lot more fun to get out of the boat and actually pursue them on foot. Okay, buddy, I'm waterbound.
Okay, they're kind of working away from us now.
Yeah, I see him.
We thought they were bonefish at first, you know what I mean? Like they were up in there kind of just pushing water around, and you could see just little tips, you know, at first, because they were too shallow to really, like, you know, get in there and tail. Those are permit. Those permit. And all of a sudden, you know, they kind of moved in a little bit deeper water, and all of a sudden you had like 10 or 12 tails up in the air, and I'm like, uh-oh, those are all permit.
Bear, they're permit. They're permit, bro. They're just kind of all going away from me right now.
Oh, baby.
Be sneaky.
Whenever I get to be on the front of the boat, man, I try to take as much advantage of it as I can, you know, because I'm usually on the back on the stick, which I love. I love being back there just as much as I do on the front. It allowed me to kind of just get on the front of the boat and pull kind of out and around. They finally started to push out and kind of spook off and pitch the old crab out in front of them. I'm pulling a boat by myself, you know. It was neat, you know. We still ended up catching a fish, which is awesome.
Got him? Woo-hoo-hoo! That's my backup boy back there. Mano a mano. By himself and no one else. You know, Bear, I had it in there so many times and like minimal reaction to it.
He ate it like 2 or 3 times before I got it.
Really?
It was like,
That's my buddy.
there he goes.
A little crab in a spinning rod.
When they were up in there a little bit shallower, they looked like bones, and then I saw them, and they got out a little bit deeper, they actually started tailing better.
Yeah.
It was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly, uh-oh. And then I'm like cursing because I wanted a different fly on.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh is right. And then at that point, it was like I was gonna run back to the boat. What's up, dude?
I got a little
You happy?
permit. Yeah, man. Always happy. Always happy to have one of these guys pulling on the other end.
Yeah, no doubt, huh? That's way to back me up, brother.
Yeah, man.
Tell me that isn't a beautiful creature. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Look at that.
Right?
He's a lot bigger than I thought he was.
I tell you, dude, the micro permit that are here are usually like half the size.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Hello.
pretty good little buddy right there.
You are a little crab munching rubber lip fool, aren't you? Permit! Mr. Permit! Ooh.
That was fun, yeah, just kind of just floating in, just pulling. I had to stick between my legs. I'm like, okay, oh, here they come.
Just a thing of beauty, and you think about that, it's just this little narrow window of time. The tide's right, you know? The fish were up there moving around.
Doing their thing, all happy. Oh man, that was awesome.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
bro, for letting me slide in behind you.
Come on, brother. I'd rather you catch them than I catch them. That's the truth.
I appreciate it, man, more than you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's interesting to me how, you know, a guide can go into an area and look at the topography of a place and go, you know what, I think fish should be there, and I think fish should be there and there. And it really happens, I think, because, you know, the fish follow highways, if you will. And to me, like the channels in the backcountry of the Keys are the highways. But if you actually look down at the Keys from a bird's eye point of view, you will see the channels that are the main highways, but you also see these white sloughs and white troughs that feed a lot of these large flats that I look at them to be, you know, as the side streets or the exits, if you will, for those fish to get up there and go to their favorite restaurant. Like a little later in the tide, you can get up on the edges of some of these white holes and stuff and throw some shrimp in. That water's coming up quick, bro. Yeah. It's coming up fast and you're losing all your edges and stuff. And you know, once you lose those edges, that's a pretty broad expanse for those fish to be just about anywhere.
Anywhere they want to be,
yeah.
You know?
And typically, you know, if you follow the breaks, you know, or the sloughs, the white sloughs that feed these dark turtle grass flats, those are the places where you're going to find the fish because they're a little bit deeper. They're a break in the sameness of the surrounding area, and they're, you know, the first place where the current flows and the water flows. That seems to be where the fish go first on the beginning of the tide. My bro, where'd it go, buddy? On the way out. Remember what we were saying about the ridges and stuff? Woo.
Oh, Yeti works pretty good, doesn't it?
It's nice, bro. I mean, it gives you a nice central spot to fish from, and it'll take a big bear standing on it.
Exactly. Which I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a lot of coolers out there that won't let that happen.
Yeah.
I'm blowing some coolers out, man.
You are a permit catching machine. Remember we were talking about not getting stuck up there in those vast expanses in the lakes, and those things are out here on the ridges. A lot of times the fish don't necessarily just keep feeding up shallower on the flat. You know, they'll stay in the same band, and as the tide gets higher, well, then you just don't see them as well. But they're still there. That is a thing of beauty, bud. I think you've done wore his butt out.
Yeah. Oh, come over here, my man.
Want me to help you?
Nah, I got it.
The bear!
Look at that, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, buddy. Another permit, number 2.
That's it, brother.
It's awesome, man.
Let's let that puppy go, my brother.
Yeah, man.
That's a beautiful creature right there.
Isn't he gorgeous?
He gave a good accounting of himself.
Yeah, he did. All right, little buddy. You ready? There he goes.
My brother.
Yeah, baby.
Give me some Holman love. Way to go, buddy.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. That was awesome.
Tell me that wasn't fun, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's a thing of beauty.
I love it.
It's a thing of beauty.
That was a blast right there.
Coming up on Spanish Fly, a bear fights a tarpon in the Keys.
That is my bear! My bear with a poon!
What's up, baby?
Woo, doggy!
This is kind of a prime example of something you saw somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I saw this. Chris Wilson in Louisiana showed me this. You know, we had been up in Louisiana, and this guy, Chris Wilson, had shown us a sliding cork. And you throw that whole rig out there, pop it a few times, let it sit a little more than you would if you're prospecting. Louisiana popping rig. So I was really anxious to try this rig here in the Florida Keys. You know, I really hadn't seen it employed before, and just by looking at it, we thought that we'd have a pretty good shot by using it. And those tarpon in that channel presented a perfect opportunity for us to try that rig out. Your sliding cork goes down to your little weight, right? It'll slide up the line. And how you set the stop here is you take a separate piece of braided line and you just tie a uni knot and try to make it as bulky as possible. And I'll trim it kind of loose, you know? And that way you can just slide that up and down. That's your stopper. When you cast this thing, you got your cork kind of up against your weight and your bait and hook. You throw it out there, and the weight will take this down until it reaches that little stopper, and that's where it stops. Let's see how it works. To me, fishing is a series of events that leads up to a conclusion. You know, some of the events were actually fishing with another guide, Stephen Palomini, and we had located a body of tarpon in one channel that we were trying to target with artificial lures. The fish in that particular day were having absolutely no part of anything artificial. And so we took the information that we got with Stevie, basically the spot, you know, where those fish were located. And then Bear Holman and I, a few days later, decided that we'd do nothing but try to catch the bait and figure out a rig that would present that bait to the few fish that were in that channel.
Slit corking in the Florida Keys. Think it's gonna work, Top Dog?
I don't know, bro.
I bet it will. I don't know why it wouldn't. Works everywhere else, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. A nice stealthy approach. I love it.
Yeah, stay on the bank, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right in the zone. Getting there. Come on. Wish I was about another 30 feet past it, you know?
Yeah.
Come on.
Uh-oh, how's that going?
There he is,
There
that's
it
him!
is. Yeah, baby!
Sweet, happy goodness right now, y'all. And you know what makes him even better? Is we caught him we hooked him on a Louisiana sliding popping cork rig.
That's right. I mean, you ever tarpon fish with one here?
No.
Yeah, neither have I, you know
Never.
what I mean? So,
But the second I saw it, I said, oh my God, what a perfect scenario. Dude, I am so happy right now, you have no idea. I'm having so much fun watching the cork, dude. See a little stopper above it now? Love to see where he's hooked, you know?
yeah.
He was hooked right in that upper part of the jaw. Is he?
Yeah.
Right in the top?
Yep.
Dude. You know what I bet? It's like these storms have cooled down the water the last
yep.
couple days.
Absolutely.
And that cooler water has more O2 in it. That is my bear! My bear with a poon! Let's look at him. Tell me that isn't the most rewarding thing on earth, you know? Awesome, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Look at, he's just so barely hooked now. Good, put him back in.
Oh, easy, he's mad. Come on.
All right, I think it's time to let him go, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
If you put the sum of your experiences together over a period of a couple days, you know, just the fact that you were able to go out and have fun along the way, you know, you get a chance to really sample a lot of the different species that the Florida Keys has to offer. You know, you're not so fixated on just one thing. Just the fact that you're flexible of doing different things, you get a chance to see, you know, a lot of the different creatures that actually swim in these areas. And to me, that's what I consider a successful day, is to go out and just have a good time, catch a bunch of different species, and spend time with some friends. There you go, buddy.
Swimming off fine.
Swimming off fine. Right there, Mr. Poon. easy as it seems sometimes to think, okay, there's a big feed going off in front of you, and you throw your lure in there, sometimes those fish are really very selective. You know, if you think about it, you know, there's a thing called predator swamping, where schools of bait gather in big numbers, right? And how they protect themselves from getting eaten is, right, there's so many of them, they pack together in a tight little group, and when the fish comes up to bust them, they scatter in different directions, kind of confusing the predator as to which one to follow. The predator's fish way to get around that is to have a search image almost imprinted in his head. And that search image could be, you know, that they're feeding on bait this size, they're feeding on bait this size, or this size. What you might be throwing in there looks like a fish, but it doesn't look like the fish they're feeding on. And so for them to leave a 100-pound ball of bait to follow this one thing that looks nothing like what it is they're feeding on, a lot of times it doesn't work. Don't love it at all. It's that you just haven't found the lure that matches the search image in that predator fish's head. And that's why you have several different outfits ready to go. Sometimes, you know, they're plugs, sometimes they're, you know, soft bait.